The other week I had the pleasure of trying this Barcelona City Track mod during a Lawrence de Sossua's Potato Nation Assetto Corsa League Race Cup Championship thing. It's done on a Saturday evening, it's a great laugh, and it's with a good bunch of people who are always very friendly. Now, the track itself is an Assetto Corsa mod, it's a free mod, and I've popped a link in the description below, and it was the real star of the show on that Saturday evening. A number of the guys were talking about how enjoyable it was, and someone in VR referred to it as a very immersive city track, which I think is kind of what you want from a city track or a city circuit, because they often don't always produce the best racing. Now, there was some cracking racing around this track. It's got a really nice combination of fast flowing sections, a couple of heavy braking zones, some wide open corners as well, so you can go around the outside or similar, and a real sort of wonderful flow to it, very high speed, but not all just long straights. This combination really ticked a lot of boxes for me, and I'm not a big fan of city circuits, so I don't particularly like Monaco at all. Actually, I think it's quite boring to watch people race there, and it's not a particularly fun drive. It's almost too narrow, it's a bit bumpy. I find it really hard to get into a rhythm around that track, whereas with Barcelona I could find myself getting into a bit of a rhythm and improving and getting a feel for how that track flowed. Of course, this is slightly subjective, and this review is based on my opinion, but the things that really stood out were the fact that some of the details within the Barcelona city were relatively accurate. You had a really cool statue, and I believe the cathedral was off in the distance as well, and sort of stylistically it just fits. I've been to Barcelona once in my life, and I can say that I couldn't recognise all the shops and all that sort of stuff, but it had that general feel. And again, as I mentioned earlier on, someone in VR was referring to how immersive that experience was, which has got to be a good testament. The road surface had no oddities of any kind that you can sometimes have in Assetto Corsa free downloads or free downloaded mods, so that was a pleasant surprise, and most of the curbs were pretty accurate and quite savage in some ways, but some of them were pretty high. There was one that sort of acted like a springboard catapult of some kind, but it was pretty far offline. The reality is you shouldn't be out there anyway. So before we take a look at my fastest lap of that Saturday, I just want to say thank you very much for the support lately, guys. If you could leave a like and subscribe, pop in the comment section below if you've got anything interesting to say, or if you've tried this track yourself and enjoyed it. I guess now, without further ado, let's go take a look at my best lap and what the track looks like from the eyes of the cockpit. So there we go, across the start-finish line as we head on to our first lap. Now there's the statue on the right-hand side. You go through this pretty quick chicane, pretty much flat, drop down to third ideally. I know I went second here, around the right-hander. Now you've got this sort of approach here where it's pretty quick, a left-hander, and then a right pretty much all the way around a roundabout. Really hard to know what the right line was here. I think I went a bit wide here, but it enables you to straighten up a fraction for this drag down here. So this is quite a heavy braking zone coming up. We've got a 90-degree left-hander. Just about here, pick the spot, turn in, try to clip the apex, probably missed it. And then a right-left here, not quite a chicane, but a right-left of 90 degrees. There we go, a pretty technical section, another left-hander. And then this sort of sweeps off. You can kind of sweep this one around to the right and pretty much pin it from the apex to the corner, maybe a little bit before. A pretty much non-chicane there, flat out. As you head onto a sweeping right-hander, take this as quickly as possible without running too wide, because that gets pretty hairy out there. Another quick chicane. I kept it in fourth and just lifted off to dab the nose in. Got a bit too much curb there and a little out of sorts as we head down another straight to another sweeping right-hander. So these fast corners make up a large section of the track, and they're incredibly enjoyable. Flat once more, we've got another right-left chicane, heading down into another quick right-hander, trying to keep as much, some people are taking that in fifth, absolutely flat almost. Now heavy braking for a right-hander, getting towards the end of the lap already, believe it or not. Just a couple more corners to go, so we are now heading up to another heavy braking zone, 90-degree left-hander, clip the apex, run a bit wide to carry some speed, and here we are already into the last corner of the lap. Another sweeping right-hander, third or fourth gear if you've got the nads for it, and there we go across the line. And that was it. So that was a lap of the Barcelona City Track. Hopefully you can see why I enjoyed it, and I gave you that sort of cockpit view just so you could sort of see what I was seeing as we were going along. Like I say, it's an incredibly enjoyable track to drive, really fun to learn, which isn't always the case with sort of city tracks and technical tracks, but an absolute hoot. and I thoroughly recommend downloading it, as well as downloading these Janettas as well. So I will leave a link in the description below for those, because they are incredibly fun to drive. This is the GT4 Janetta, and honestly, the handling, it's all just a fantastic package, a really enjoyable race car. And if you've got a group of mates and you enjoy racing, bang these two together as a combination and you'll have a wonderful time. Well, I hope so anyway, because I certainly did. So that is it for this video. I really appreciate you guys dropping by, saying hello, and hopefully enjoying this. Like I say, if you could leave a comment below if you've enjoyed this track before, or if you're willing to give it a go. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that usual stuff. And until next time, bye for now.